Do this thing.
I will get a 3.
You
That was a
will
17.
indeed get a whole 3. I'm very proud of you.
16.
16 and a 13. 13 plus 3 equals 16.
10.
Did they change the font for the numbers?
No,
Does it look a little
maybe?
different? Maybe I'm
I mean, it looks
crazy.
normal. I mean, looking at the dice, you can actually see the different colors now instead of it just being the whole one set.
I don't know. But anyways, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to another episode of War of the Shattered Sun. I am your humble dumble master, the one and only Puting Pastry, the Farting Tot, and I'm joined by my crew of daring do-gooders. We have the Punkyard Dog, the CGs, the Joe Mojos, the J Frost 747s, and me. Hello. We are currently missing River and Sarah. River is unfortunately not going to be with us tonight as they forgot that they bought concert tickets like 2 months ago and that concert was indeed tonight. And then for an anniversary present. And Sarah is currently at this moment just running late. But they will be here. But for now, it's just these four goons. Hello, four goons.
I resemble that statement.
Hello.
You resemble that statement?
Yeah.
Do you mean you
Four
Do you mean you resent that statement?
No.
Okay.
Four Goons was the less successful version of Five Guys.
True. Oh, I'm making that.
There was
canon.
5 Guys subs, but 4 Goons Hoagies was pretty alright.
I'm gonna make a fast food chain in Ravenna here, called Four Goobs, and it's a burger place run by goblins.
Yes.
I think
4 goobs with some tubes.
Four Goobs.
Like,
So how
it's
many
four-
onion rings you want?
Like,
Just a small onion ring. A fuck
It's-
ton?
it's the kind of place that's like, you know those Japanese places where they like serve food on like these little train cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the conveyor belts.
Yeah.
The conveyor belt. Thank you. Yeah, except it's 4 goobs and some tubes. Everything is delivered via tube.
That actually sounds awesome.
Punk River and I have been to a sushi place where I think it was called Sushi Train, where they would just
That's
make
cute.
the sushi and they would color the plates differently for the pricing, and they would just set it on the train and you could just grab it as it goes by. It was very, very cute. Very nice place too. Also really cheap and very good. Fucking walked out of there with probably, I don't know, 24 plates for like $100.
Damn!
It was a lot of good. A lot of good. But there were also like 4 of us at the time, which is why we had so much sushi. But yes. Hello. Also, figured I might as well mention this now. This is an episode taking place on May 14th of 2023. This is going to be our last episode for a couple weeks. As next Sunday, I'm gonna be on the road, brother. Put on my trucker hat. I'm moving next weekend. It's very nerve-wracking, but I'm very excited. So, next Sunday, there will not be a session, and then there should be a session that following week, but we're gonna play it by ear until then. So, with that being said, are we good to get started, goons?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yahoo!
Okay. I need to close Twitter because I realized I never did. Whoops. All right, let me find some music for us. What am I feeling? What am I feeling? We'll go with the old goodie. Last time, Exilia Regalia came together to handle one last task in the assault of Dragon's Reach, to close the sinkhole in the center of the city. You all headed for the Echodea following your battle with the Orion Dragon hybrid, and met with a few of your allies to prepare for next steps. You also learned that Bison had been headed for the warehouse district for unknown reasons and sent Amos and Fallweather to track him down and report back as to their findings. You all, alongside Kieran and the Baylord Dangros, were met by Marissa Eberhardt as you headed deeper into the city. Marissa explained that the Hellfire Assembly's goal in this assault was to recover the artifacts that Oz had stolen from your group. She also offered you a deal to bequeath unto her the breastplate of Muldoon in exchange for Oz. You all refused, and with that, she absconded from the city. You all came together, and with your combined might, you were able to close the rift that had kicked all of this off. However, your fight was not yet over, as you all began cleanup efforts over the next few hours, and now, late into the night, you all are beginning to come together again for a much needed discussion. Just so I'm aware, where is everyone at this current moment in time? Where do you think you are? What do you think you're doing at the moment?
After Flit made sure that everything was taken care of, like all of the Orion cleaned up, she is probably sulking in her room.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you doing that like thing where you like stare darkly out the window?
No, I'm doing that thing where I'm sitting in darkness staring at the wall with a furrowed brow.
Fair. As you're sort of doing this, Toshi sort of crawls up into your lap and just kind of looks up at you.
I look down to Toshi and I attempt to give a smile, but the attempt, though valiant, fails.
Toshi, realizing that something's wrong, sort of cuddles into your lap a bit and just kind of nuzzles you.
Flit will bring him up to her cheek, and she'll give a nuzzle back, but even Toshi already knows, but it's not all there.
Yeah. Of course. Eventually, the time sort of comes where you realize it's time to go and meet up with your group for an important discussion. So you do sort of, I almost said fumble. Fumble is not the word I was wanting to say. You sort of drag yourself from your room and you begin to head out to meet with your friends again. Your team again. Friends may be a strong word. I don't know. We'll see how the conversation goes.
Well, there are friends there. I'm not sure that they're all friends right now, but they're there.
Corvin, where are you right now?
That's a good question, Mega Man. He would probably be, if pretty much told to stick around with the group for the talk, he would probably be in like the common area or the meeting room, depending on where everyone agreed to go.
Okay. It's likely that your group had agreed to meet in the guard hall, your standard meeting place for this conversation. How long do you think you've been there, roughly?
I guess since everyone's since everyone's split, he would try and stay focused on the task.
Okay.
Just trying to gather thoughts, making sure that he presents everything in a positive manner.
Right. So you've been there for a little bit now, and as each and every one of you is sort of going throughout the castle, you see that there's still a bit of commotion. People are still slowly filing out from the castle. A number of them are either forced to stay due to the destruction of their homes, or just fear of not wanting to go back out until things are to be confirmed safe.
Does he actually run into Theon?
You don't.
Okay. Yeah, he's just gonna be over there, just collecting his thoughts.
Okay. Rovan, where are you right now? Or what have you been doing?
Ravon would be, after fighting off enough of the Orion, he would probably be in the Medicaid getting patched up.
Okay.
And kind of just thinking about the entire past events of the 24 hours.
Yeah.
And also taking some swigs from the alchemy jug. Because Boyo needs a drink.
Yeah, after an additional few hours of culling, you are eventually ordered by a couple of the higher ranked military men to shift out, as you have been fighting and going all day. And as you kind of sit in the Medicaid for a while, and the adrenaline begins to die down, you realize you're fucking tired. You are, for all intents and purposes, going to be taking a point of exhaustion.
Sounds good.
But eventually you realize you'd struggle a little bit to actually keep yourself awake, but you do manage to do so enough to realize that it is time to meet up with your friends again and head on out. Kore, where are you right now, provided that Punk is there and not still on the phone? Punkles.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it sounds like they're still on the phone then.
I have a little bit of a question.
What's up?
Oh, never mind. I'll wait.
I can answer your question.
So, while we were running around and just kind of checking on everything, how are the people doing? Like the citizenry?
The citizenry is simply shaken up. Why don't you make me a history check?
Six.
Hey, you got the nice number. Your internal history on Dragon's Reach is admittedly limited, but this is in of itself a monstrous attack that all these people suffer, and you're pretty confident, even with your limited knowledge, that there has not been something to this scale before in this location. Or at least none in recent history to where the toll of it is really making its impact.
This is definitely like, this is kind of the feeling of something major has just happened. How, like, the moment that war kind of settles in.
Yeah. Everyone's pretty shaken up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Still, hopefully they'll bounce back.
Hopefully, smile. Punkles.
Hopefully, angry frown.
Angry friend. Punkles. Let me know, Punk said, "I'm saying bye, I'm sorry," in all caps, and I'm sure she's crying right now.
I hope everyone's having a good day at
Hello, I'm
least.
back.
Hello, you. Is your mom doing well?
Yes.
Good. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy
And I
Mother's
need
Day.
it to be known, Punk, I am not shaming you.
It's okay.
I'm just poking at you a little bit. You're fine.
Okay.
Corey, where in the midst of all this, getting ready to head into the group meeting, where are you right now? What have you been doing? For say, we'll just say for like the last hour.
Checking on Nexus.
Understandable. You finally
Probably putting the fear of the gods into the guards.
Yeah. You finally having a bit of calmer moments. You go and you check on Nexus, who is fine. Is totally fine. And you make sure to sort of express the gravity of his safety, the importance of his safety to these guards who seem to reaffirm themselves. Corey activates angry mom mode. Corey's doing the thing where like her it's just like a silhouette with all red glowing eyes. But Corey, as you begin making your way to the meeting room to meet with your friends, you hear with your passive perception conversation. And with your knowledge, you recognize these voices specifically to be Theon and Cedric. Do you wish to investigate?
Yes.
You head a bit closer and you find them sort of perched up together in what appears to be a study, and they just seem to be kind of going over the results of what has happened. And as you begin to approach and you sort of linger in the doorway for a moment,
Stealth.
Stealth? Okay, roll stealth. You're eavesdropping.
14.
That's pretty good. You hear, as you kind of sidle up to the doorway, kind of keeping out of sight, you hear Cedric utter the phrase, "How many?" To which Theon goes, "Don't. Do not do that to yourself." And Cedric turns to him a bit more, not aggressive, but assertive, and goes, "How many?" And you notice something very out of character for Cedric. He puts his hand on Theon, kind of grasping at his cloak a bit. To which a quiet moment passes, and Theon simply goes, "Take your hand off me." Cedric, kind of realizing what he does, lets go and backs off. He sits down in a chair and sort of puts his head in his hands a bit. I'm sorry.
Corey's gonna rap softly on the door frame now.
The two sort of look over and see you and go, Cedric goes, "Corey, Good to see that you're still doing all right.
Still breathing. Was putting the fear of the gods and the guards outside Nexus's door. Theon, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?
I'm gonna roll something for Theon, actually. As I almost dropped my dice. Theon looks to you and goes, "We're discussing the the results of today's events."
Her face gets a little pinched and her ears kind of droop. The fallen.
Yes.
How many were there?
And he kind of looks over to Cedric, knowing that Cedric just asked the same thing. He kind of takes a breath. 50,000. To which Cedric sort of tightens his grip. Just kind of tightens his hands a bit. Clasps his hands a bit. 1/6 of our population. Gods.
Corey's kind of drops her face to her hands. What? Was it mostly in the center?
Primarily, yes, but there were casualties all over. They hit us swift, they hit us hard, and there was very little we could do to prepare for it. But once evacuation started going forward, the death toll dropped immensely. However, we have still lost a lot of people.
Those bastards. We lost Adam today too.
I heard. He'll be back, but is still unfortunate. You could see Cedric is just kind of quiet in this moment.
Corey can't say anything. She's just looking at her hands, really disappointed and angry. The wounded. We should bring them to Havana Hall. Theon, can we discuss some additions when we get to repairing the city? I really want to invest more in evacuation.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. We will discuss, yes.
Thank you. I'll leave you to it. Cedric, my king, please don't. There's a fucking dragon! So, she kind of gives one of his hands a squeeze between both of hers. We need to look to the repairs. And also beating their others' asses.
Corey, as you come up to Cedric, and you get, like, up in his face, and you get close, there's a whisper that enters the back of your mind. It's Cedric's voice. Come find me later. Alone. And as this sort of
She gives a kind of like wary look at him and a small nod.
As this sort of resonates through your mind, you He goes, "Thank you."
Be safe, you two. And she'll
Yes,
give
ma'am.
another nod to Cedric and Theon and leave.
Theon also gives, or they both give you nods, and you go and you meet with the rest of your group. So,
She gets out of the study and then she starts booking it. I am afeared. Goodbye.
goodbye. As
Quietly but quickly as possible.
Yes. You all eventually make your way to the guard hall to meet up together. And with that, let me go ahead and change our music. Let's see. How we feeling, gang? If ooh, I know what I want to use. Hold on. As you all meet up together and the patter of rain begins to trickle down the windows. Very lightly. You'll have come together for a very important discussion. I need to know, aside from your ranks, are you bringing anyone else in on this? That includes people like Diana, Corvo, anyone. Or is it just...
Are we bringing in Kieran or no?
That's what I want to know. Who are you guys bringing in on this conversation?
Personally, I'd rather keep it to just a group, in my opinion.
I'm okay with Diana, and truth be told, like, Foot might seek out Reno just to have for personal reasons, but she would probably keep it with the group.
Yeah, probably just Diana and I
Yeah.
guess Reno.
It doesn't have to be Reno. It was,
Okay, you're good.
yeah.
Okay. We will, for the purposes of this, we will include Diana, but leave all other parties excluded. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well then, gang. You all sit on down, and Diana is the first to go. So, where do we even start? It's been a heck of a day.
Corbin just kind of stands up and says, I agree. It's been I think this has been the longest day. It's honestly felt like weeks, but
Shut up.
anyway. We all know why we're here. And we all know what needs to be done and what needs to be said. Flit, you seem to have the most on your mind right now. Why don't you go on ahead? And I would like to, before you start, I'd like for everyone to just not say anything until she is finished and listen to what she's trying to say.
I have an idea. And Diana will pull out just I didn't think about this before. Diana will pull out the Rod of Resurrection. Whoever holds the rod may speak. Sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Diana comes over to you and hands you the rod, Flit. The speaking stick is now in play.
Corbin will sit down and wait.
Flit looks at it, looks at Rovan, takes a very deep breath. 1 second. Sorry about that. Uh,
He's just putting water in his eyes so he can do fake tears.
You gotta commit to the bit.
Well, no, well, he's out of eye drops, so.
I'm
that's
putting. Truth be told, I was putting water in my throat to prevent coughing.
Fair.
All right. She takes a deep breath. Unintended consequences. When we left for our pilgrimage to help Ravon, and while we were traveling along the road, I stopped in one night while everyone else was asleep because I wanted to get confirmation from something. That Ravon had put full thought into what he was doing. That he had given thought to consequences and effects. Ravon assured me that everything was cared for. I didn't buy it, but I let it slide. We made our way to the Giants and everything that shook out from that. And it became more apparent to me that Ravon wasn't thinking of the consequences or the implications. Now I'm wondering if that's even a thing of ignorance. Ravon, you have, in the past 3 weeks or so, taken on and performed so many acts that are just self-focused on your own. You're not thinking about the rest of us. I know, it sounds... We don't have to be in every part of your life, but some of this stuff is too important. Some of this stuff gets people killed. I don't know what you did. I don't know what happened with Bison. I don't know what Corvo did. That you somehow got away from him. Or that he let you live. And this is something that we need to know. Why did Bison let you live? Why was it so important that you fight him? Why was it so important that we go to meet with these giants? You never really told us.
I have a
Never
question.
gave it. Yes?
In regards to this, speaking of your ranks, are you guys including Sindri in on this? If not, that's fine. I just thought of it and wanted to make sure.
I mean, he is technically part of
He's part of-
Exile.
I would
Regalia's
include
founding.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
I would agree as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he would definitely be a founder.
Okay.
You were saying, CG?
Yes, please continue.
I don't know if I can trust you. I really can't. And you may say something like, I did it to protect you. Is ignorance that much of a better shield than knowledge? Don't you think that we would be willing to help you and do it better if you told us? But no, you didn't. You kept it secret. Corvo had to wheel your beaten bodies in when we could have needed you, when the kingdom needed you. We learned later that Bison wanted the items. How much good do you think you could have done if you didn't spend time on him and instead came to us? But you didn't. And now Corvo pulled a gun on you because he thinks you're a mole. Look at everything that's happened because you kept secrets. Because you betrayed us by doing so. Betrayed all of us. Betrayed all of us. She drops the stick on the table for anyone else who wants to pick it up.
Orvin will grab it from the table, walk it to Rovan, and just stay behind. Places it in front of him, and he'll actually kind of linger like next to Rovan and pull something, a small piece of paper from his jacket.
Ravon will not pick up the stick.
Rovan, you have to explain yourself.
I can wait.
No. No, it cannot.
Ravon will pick up the stick. What I have done, you will not understand. I do think of others, believe it or not. I do think of the consequences. I was... Alright, 1 second.
It's the last of Theorian in the background. The guards, don't worry, we got him, boss.
Yep.
There's just like 3 Orient, they're all bunching up popcorn. Ooh, drama.
Yep.
Above game, sorry about that. Cat was trying to get into the garbage can. Because he wanted
You know
the
what?
steak
Fair.
bones.
Understandable.
He wanted the fucking steak bones.
Understandable.
The little fat bastard.
Titan was like, "Woo!"
You know what? I believe it. I mean, not like that. I didn't believe it, but Gooby also tried to steal a piece of steak once.
Smokey risks her life when there's chicken afoot. I have
Yeah,
seen
Gooby
that.
likes chicken too.
I have seen that cat almost bat chicken out of a actual, like, as it was frying in the pan.
Oh my god!
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
She fucking learned after that.
She
Risking bean and claw for it.
She
Natural
fucking
toesies.
learned today.
Holy
Jesus
shit!
Christ!
Remember when I said my cat is a fucking idiot?
She's a menace.
Cat's like, never tell me the odds.
Either
Cats
way.
are just
Between me
basically-
and food.
Cats are suicidal and trying to get food. Alright.
Don't worry, Dad. This is just the hunt.
It's already been hunted! Alright. I do think think of others. Everyone has reasons to not divulge things. Mine are of a personal matter that goes beyond just my own pride. Because it goes to cover those I care about. And yes, at times ignorance is the preferred blissful shield. A prime example was Zygmotis. Had that information been revealed publicly to Sarah or to anyone else, he would have overtaken her quicker. I kept my mouth shut, and I was the first one to figure it out. So I do believe there are times where ignorance is bliss. And in terms of this absolute shit show of a day, you are right. Maybe I could have been of better help. Maybe I could have done something here at the castle. And he just kind of takes a deep breath in. I will not deny that short-sightedness. But as far as engaging Bison, there is a lot more at stake there. There is a shame. A deep-seated shame that will ruin many lives. I will not deny. I am not always forthcoming, nor am I the wisest or smartest. But I do not do things so selfishly and haphazardly. There is purpose. Many can look at it and be askewed, but there is a purpose. On top of that, it is my job to keep things away, to be a bulwark. But let's go back again. About that ignorance. There is more reason for that. Zygmotis was one reason. Another reason is currently dealing with his own problems. There are some things others should not ask or know. Some deep-seated shames that should stay buried. You want a prime example? The people do not know the real threat that is literally coming. The apocalypse that awaits us all. They only see the Shattered Sun orcs, and this incident. Let me ask you this. What do you think would happen if they knew who truly was orchestrating everything? If they knew who the real enemy was? Do you think they would just be fine with it? No. They would charge and push their way through this castle. And half of the Vanahir Guard would be put on an executioner's block. You call me a traitor. You say I betrayed, when you know damn well I don't. I am no traitor. Treachery is the worst sin. I would rather throw myself off the very cliffs than to ever be known as a traitor. So yes, there are things I do not wish to discuss. But I do this for the protection of others. I have proven my loyalty, time and time again. You do not trust me? Fine. I do not ask for you to completely trust me. But I am not your enemy. Do not ever dare believe that my loyalty is questionable. Not when we have come this far. Not when I have made sacrifices that you will never know. What I do is to safeguard those I care about. Because if they knew the horrible truth, they would never be able to live with it. So I do my job as the spare child, the second son. I take the beating. No questions asked. Because it's my duty. You will then lay the stick on the table and take a very deep swig from the alchemy jug.
Sindri would gesture for the rod, as he can't quite reach it on his own.
Corbin will hand it to him.
Sindri holds the staff and the rod in his hands for a few moments. I love each one of you very, very much. You all are my friends. We've been together for a long time. But Ravon, mate, that's a load of horse shit. You're protecting others? You're claiming ignorance. You're claiming that you're guarding us. Mate, I almost died out there. He could have killed me at any moment. I could have died just by bleeding out. And you know what you did? When Corvo told you to do, what did you do? When Corvo told you to run, what did you do? You stayed there and you kept fighting. Over some guy that supposedly you don't know, but based on recent evidence that seems to not be the case. You say you're protecting us, but you almost let me die. Mate, I would rush into a fight for each and every one of you. I did do that today. Mate, I need to know what we're fighting for. You still haven't answered the question. You need to explain who this guy is, or something. I don't know, but... Mate, if we're gonna start dying out there fighting your fight, well, damn, I'd love to know what exactly this is all for. I'm sure a few of us share the same sentiment. That's it. And he slides it back to the center of the table.
Flit gives Sindri a very poignant nod of agreement.
Cora will pick up the stick.
Corey's picking up the stick. Also, hello, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, we're in the middle of the intervention right now.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. It is currently your group and Diana and Sindri.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
You guys are on your own. Diana has offered the Rod of Resurrection to act as a talking stick, a speaking stick, so that everyone can let whoever has the stick at the time sort of air their grievances without interruption.
Okay.
So that is currently what's happening. But Corey, you are picking up the stick now, the rod. It feels slightly disrespectful to call it a stick, considering it's a legendary magic item that can literally bring you back from the dead, but we'll call it a stick.
I'm sorry, Rod of Resurrection. Calling you a stick.
Big fancy magic stick.
Meanwhile, the Rod, don't worry about it. I've just added to my resume as counselor.
Von Rhee, I know Bison's not easy to fight. But surely there was, at one point, you thought about us. Surely. There was a point in that room where I think Corvin was the only one alive. By some miracle, we made it out of there. I know we can't be everywhere at once. But a lot happened. When a lot happens, we tend to group up. And even if you had to do something to protect us, you don't have to keep us in the dark. You can tell us later. Somehow. Something, an inkling. An inkling that your head's not in your ass. You're our friend. We respect you. We respect your battles. Not all of them we can help in. Not all of them you can help in, but today was one of them you definitely could have helped in. And she doesn't shake, but like, she tenses just thinking about the earlier events. I don't like suspecting my friends. Not after everything we've been through. We faced dragons, demons, horror after horror. And I've never doubted you. Till now. I hope you improve. This isn't just about our group. This is about the world. The souls and lives of so many innocents. So many times we've already kept the world turning. Don't. And so many before us. Don't put their work in vain, please. Not our work too, please. She'll put the stick down.
Diana will actually gesture for it as you go to sit down.
She'll hand it to her.
We all have our secrets. We've all collectively shared secrets. We all hid what was happening to Sarah from her, but we all did that as a group. Because we knew what would happen if she were to find out. That is something we did together. And up to this point, none of our individual secrets have resulted in the betterment and near death of each other. To now sit here and pretend that that's fine, that doesn't sit right with me. As Sindri said, he almost died today. What if he had died? He deserves to know the reason why this is such a highly guarded secret. As do we all. I can't fight a battle in good faith, guarding a secret that I don't even know what it is, what it's for, what it means. This doesn't just apply to you, this applies to anyone, everyone. Flit had a secret regarding Corladora, but she trusted us enough to convey that to us. Because she knew we would be there with her. So why does it feel like you're putting up walls? And Corvin, you sort of... Okay. You're going last, Corvin?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Diana will kind of look around to see if anybody wants it next. Going once. Going twice. Sarah.
I'm trying to sit back and listen since I was gone for so long.
You're good.
Well,
Basically,
the thing
group
is, yeah, you might want to listen to the VOD then if you want to listen, because like everyone's spoken.
The group is basically right now trying to convey to Rovan, like, people almost died. We don't want to suspect that you are being a traitor, but you're obviously hiding shit from us. That's the gist of it.
Alright, so Corvin wants to go last. Is Sarah the only one left then?
I believe you're the
Yeah.
only person who hasn't spoken yet.
Okay.
The
I guess
only
Sarah
other
will
person,
take-
rather.
I guess Sarah will take the stick then.
Okay. Diana passes it over to you.
Sarah takes a deep breath to kind of steel herself, getting ready to speak from the heart as the rest of her group is done. Rovan, I regarded you as my brother since the day you said you were adopting me as your sister. I love you like a brother. It pains me to know that you're hiding something. I don't know what it is. Obviously none of us do. But the fact that you think you need to keep secrets from us? Yes, Raven. Thank
Raven
you.
agrees. Raven found a cat.
It's those damn Orient on the outside.
Hey! Scram!
Just one
Oh,
Orient's
shit!
one Orient's just looking in the window, just going, "Ooh, this is juicy."
Scatter!
Scatter.
Sarah's putting a hand on Raven, like, hush, hush, stay. The fact that you feel you need to keep secrets from us, from me, from even Kieran, hurts. What is so important, or maybe even so, what are you so afraid of that you feel you need to hide it from us? We are your friends. We are your family at this point. I want to know what's going on. And that's all Sarah's going to say. She'll hand the stick over.
Being the last one, Corv will just kind of take the stick a little bit, and he'll look towards Ravon. I have to echo everyone else's statements. I don't think none of us, I believe, think that you're any kind of traitor or feeding information, but I have to share this. I don't really talk about my family too much because, I mean, well, obviously I'd rather talk about myself, but all of this kind of spurred a memory that passed down between my siblings. Our eldest brother, Darfin. He was the third child, and he was very, to put it nicely, energetic. He would always get himself into all kinds of scenarios and would always, well, get in trouble, hoping the family could do something about it for him. He feigned ignorance all the time just to get out of whatever he was in. Until the eldest of us all, Malara. She put a stop to all of that. Unfortunately, by the time she was there, it was too late. Darfin got involved with the wrong people. He is no longer with us. To this day, we try and hold him as part of the celebration that we all have every week. Remembering who he was, not what he brought to us. Hell, ever since, we've had numerous amounts of my siblings try and play mediator or try to check in on everybody else. For my generation, that was my job for a while. Wanna say Syndra is taking that helm. Oof. She's got work ahead of her, but no worries on her end. What I'm trying to say is, just because you're trying to protect us, doesn't mean it's always going to be the best. Try to include us in. That's all we ask. And he'll put the stick back on the table. So, does anything have anything else to say, or a response?
Sindri will shake his head no. Diana will go, I don't think I have anything else to say that anybody else hasn't said already.
Sarah will grab the stick again. Because I realized I forgot to address something.
Mm-hmm.
Rovan, I saw the way that Reno looked at us when we went out the door. Reno, I'm fairly certain, believes you are the traitor. The one that's been spilling information. And that's... if that's the case... I can't stand that people are looking to you, thinking that you might be betraying us. So, I think you really need to clue us in on what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to start being ostracized from our group and even from the old guard. And she'll set the stick down again. That's all I've got.
Flit will grab it if no one else goes for it.
Sounds like it's yours.
When you responded to what I said, there was a lot of vague sentences, terms. You don't know me or what I've done. I am the Bulwark. I've done this. I haven't done that. You don't know me. You're right, we don't. And we're giving you a chance to build up some of the trust that we've lost today. Can't you say anything? Can't you give us any bit of information that lets us believe that you are actually acting in our interests? I just want to know. Or are you gonna hide behind vague statements once again? I don't even need everything. But something. Please. He's gonna put the stick back down.
Ravon, is there anything that you'd like to say about that?
I have an above game question to ask you, Tart.
I have an above game answer to this question.
Would Raikiri be possible to be brought out? Like the spirit, not the sword.
You found me out, Shing! Now you must die!
Yes. Yeah, that would be within the realm of possibility.
Ravon would like to bring Raikiri's spirit out. He will look to Raikiri. And Raikiri can understand Celestial, yeah?
Yes.
He will say in Celestial.
Which I believe...
A good chunk of people can.
I was about to say, you can, Corey can, Sarah can, and Diana can.
In Celestial, he will say, "You know my oath. I am bound to it. You are not, however."
It's really hard to hear you.
Oh, my apologies. I am bound to my oath. You are not, however. And he kind of just nods at Raikiri and just kind of like basically giving Raikiri the ability to kind of showcase if Raikiri is able to like communicate or utilize any magic to help.
I was about to ask, because Raikiri kind of looks at you like, okay, what the fuck do you expect me to do? Raikiri can't speak. You were only able to
But
sort of...
Raikiri's smart enough to like tap on things, yeah?
I mean, I guess. How smart's a fox?
What are we gonna do? Give him a typewriter?
I mean, I could
Well,
minor illusion. I could minor illusion like a, you know, word like fucking.
A Ouija board?
Basically a minor illusion Ouija board, really.
Can't interact with a minor illusion.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Put something under it to indicate the letter because you can't touch it.
Okay. Sarah's been staring at Rovan during this and has crossed her arms because she understands Celestial. Rovan.
He's trying
Right
to
here.
think.
Rovan. Raikiri cannot speak.
We'll look to Sarah. What did he say to Raikiri?
He said that Raikiri knows his oath. He is bound by it, but Raikiri is not.
Oath?
I swore an oath. This was a little bit after our mission to go save Corval. Also, forgive if anyone heard that friggin' stomach growling. Jesus.
I did not.
Nope.
I was wondering what that was.
So, you're bound by some sort of oath.
He nods. Swore on the river Styx. It is the river of oaths. To break a promise on the Styx is considered the worst of ill fates.
Sarah groans and rubs her face. Okay. River Styx. What were the conditions of the oath?
Neither of us would speak of our affiliation to the other. A day would come when both of us would meet and go at each other at full power, nothing held back. If I won, he would die. I would not bring him back, but I would allow him, at least, to keep his namesake from being unsullied. He wins, and his side wins this war. I am to be brought back, and I am to swear fealty to him. A blood oath. And Ravon taps where he has the marking on his face.
What marking? No, I'm just fucking around.
I was about to say, I have that on note, motherfucker!
It would be quite a good pull to rip that from you without you noticing, though.
Sarah kind of puts her hand under her chin, rubbing her chin. So you have an affiliation with him. I'm going to make a wild guess that we are talking about Bison.
Ravon just is just looking. And he nods. Yes.
You cannot speak of your affiliation, meaning you cannot outright tell us.
Correct.
What if we guess?
I can't confirm it.
Can't confirm it. Okay.
I've already made an assumption that Bison could possibly be his missing father.
Given the bull motif, it would make sense. After all, Rovan's family crest is a bull.
If we want confirmation, and I do, I have an idea.
Reincarnation, no.
You're actually coming back as a bull.
Moo. Comes back actually as a cow.
Comes back as a minotaur.
I'm all ears, Flit.
This is not something that I am aware of or capable of doing myself, but there are spells that let people view memory, yes? If we were to say, look at the moment that this oath was made, we would get our context and our information. But Rovan would not have told us.
It's a possible loophole. It's almost tricky to say with the river sticks.
Above game, does anyone have the detect thoughts spell?
Nope.
Yeah.
I know I don't.
You do?
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
Hell yeah.
You
Hell
do.
yeah, Corey.
Oh, that's a blast from the past.
Hey, glad y'all have that, cause no one else has that spell.
Spitter.
It's not a bard spell.
It is a bard spell.
Huh?
It's bard, wizard, and sorcerer.
Yep.
He wouldn't take it because it feels like cheating.
Probably. Question, Corey.
Yeah. Shoot.
The circlet of bang bang. The circlet of telepathy. Are you attuned to it?
Last I checked, yeah.
Okay. Just had to make sure, because if not, you would have to.
Pretty sure I am.
Okay. I will trust you. So you would like to utilize the circlet of telepathy.
Hmm.
Okay. So you're casting the detect thoughts spell.
I have a random question because this just occurred to me.
Mm-hmm.
Would her legend lore usage for the day work for this too?
I don't know. Would it? Smile. There'd only be one way to find out.
If this doesn't work, we'll do that.
Okay.
What do you say to Rovan as you go to cast Detect Thoughts?
Speak now, head ass.
Not how that works, but I'll take it.
Sorry.
I-
That's funny.
What? It's a vocal component.
Man, if I wasn't out of bardic inspiration for the day, I would have asked if that would have counted towards unsettling words.
So,
Speak, shithead.
God, I kind of want us to quote that. Speak now, head ass.
I feel like that could be used for like a holy matrimony kind of ceremony.
Command word, head ass. All right, power
Speak
word,
now
head
or
ass.
Speak now or forever hold your tongue, head ass.
So with the Detect Thoughts spell, I presume you are attempting to dive deep into Rovan's mind to extract out these specific memories, correct?
Yeah, let's poke around in there.
Rovan, are you attempting to resist?
It doesn't say you have to try.
Well, hold on one second. I'm actually reading the oath. Just
The oath in this circumstance, I would say, realistically, would not be broken if you didn't resist.
well, you would. I'd actually have to say, yeah, I wouldn't resist because neither side would speak of their relation.
Correct.
Nothing says you can't go prying into the mind.
Outside interference is totally on the table. Power word head
how's-
ass.
I love this.
Mostly to play devil's advocate, but wouldn't that be considered willing? Or
What do you mean?
like to just allow somebody into his mind? Would that be part of the oath, or
I would say no.
okay?
I would say that would be totally viable.
All right, just double checking for safety reasons.
Of course. So, just to confirm, Rovan, you are not resisting.
Nope.
Okay. Corey, you dive deeper and deeper into Rovan's mind, which is already pretty reasonably filled with memories of the conversation with his father, who you yet to know is his father, but above game you know is his father. Considering the current conversation being had. You dive deeper and deeper, and you look back, and you see the entire conversation play out on Cloudstalker Peak between Rovan and the man you now realize to be his missing father. Is there anything else you're trying to pry from this? Because you guys have already you guys have already heard and seen the conversation. You all are aware of this. This is your characters now realizing this.
Can she insight to try and see if she could... Why he didn't kill him? I mean, that's his boy, but like, he was compelled to not kill his boy.
Roll
Or
insight.
to kill his boy.
Roll insight with advantage.
$25?
It's what Rovan said. One day they would have to come together and fight with all their power. You look back and you see the fight taking hold in Dragon's Reach between the two of them, later assisted by Corvo and Sindri. And you first of all, you realize that one, Rovan had already come out from a fight that day. He was already injured. But you realize that, much like most of you, this was not the full extent of Rovan's power. You're able to presume that he was left alive so that they could fight again.
I'm sorry, I'm writing notes. Can you run that last bit by me again?
You presume that he let Rovan live so that they can fight again later.
Did you
Does it
say
seem like it? Does it seem like Ravon will die if I tell him Bison's his dad?
quick question. Turt, did you say we're all seeing this?
No, just Kore. But
Okay.
you all have seen the conversation above game.
Oh, okay.
Because
got
you
it now.
all were present when the scene took place.
Okay.
Yourselves were present when the scenes took place. But
Okay.
Kore, you would not think that you know that Ravon knows that it is his dad. But as you're diving deeper, you notice there are, dating way back, regarding this certain individual, a lot of memories missing. Vague, I can't even say missing, suppressed. Memories
Oh.
clouded and void and static. As if
Sorry, I
somebody-
guess I meant if she tells him of what happened with the oath, will he die?
You don't know what would happen.
Ah, shit.
But you do see what looks like, rather than memories being extracted, almost like somebody has gone in and scrubbed them out. Gone
okay.
over them with a Sharpie marker.
His memories were blacklisted by the CIA.
So,
They've been
Ravon.
censored.
I took a peek in your head. He's not done with you. There will be another fight. But for the love of the gods, please, if we're dying, if something giant is roaming around the city, please come help us. Also, your memories of Bison aren't gone?
How's about
But I can't do anything with it, so
Ravon, make
it's
me a
real
wisdom
big
save.
magic.
Damn
Oh
it!
no.
Damn
Damn
it,
it.
Corey!
What? I'm sorry!
Oh shit, I
Alright.
need to stop the music.
Okay. Well,
We knew that he wasn't supposed to know about this shit.
Wait,
We're trying to
shit.
stop you.
I'll let you rank on Corey, because you would know that the memory of the conversation.
That was me thinking out
Oh, yeah,
loud.
that's right.
Sorry, no, we tried
Oh.
to.
Flip both knew about the deal.
Okay.
You would know.
Well-
Corey is aware about the conversation with Archivar about removing those memories. You can presume that this is what that is.
He's not done with you. Just please don't leave us to die. If something that big is roaming around again. But also, we couldn't really prepared for this shit.
Hey Ron, roll me that wisdom save. Not just because I'm curious. I just wanted
Okay.
to see what the result would have been.
You got it, Chief.
Nothing's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Again, I'm just curious.
Please, CIA-kun, don't, redact me. Alright, wisdom save. Technically does get the aura.
It's already included. There you go.
That was a roller coaster
That
of a
was
roll.
a roller coaster.
You're telling me!
was
I was clenching
too.
my butt cheeks!
Again, I was just curious. So even if you had rolled low, it wouldn't have mattered because it was just satiate my curiosity. But please continue, Corey.
That's it. She just thought would just please don't let us die if something that big's roaming around again.
But Corey, you now know the truth. Corvin's assumption was correct. Bison is Ravon's father.
He's your dad. Boogie, 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 boogie.
Just take all the tension and yeet it out the window.
Oh, oh God!
I love it.
Somebody fucking
Thank you, Pug.
flip that.
Someone,
my fucking throat!
Reihua, go with the Finocore.
Please
Wow.
tell me
Fucking-
that was in character. If not, it's okay, but I would love it if it was.
I mean, I'm saying it like it was, but we don't have to. It's.
Being the Ray in Ray Wakore, am I right?
He's your dad. He's your dad. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
That's my boy. Father, help!
No, you got it. Keep going.
There's a guy in Dragon's Reach right now with 2 Shiba Inus. He just looks up at the sky and goes, "Huh?
Good one.
Thank you."
I got that joke.
So, after all of this is being shared, looks at Rovan. Long look at Rovan. I guess this counts as a good reason. So, what now?
What now is we all take advantage of whatever hot spring or bath is around is still open in business. We all take a long soak, get pissed drunk afterwards, and get to sleep.
Sleep sounds good, says Diana. We've all
You
had
want to
one
go-
heck of a day.
Team Onsen, let's go.
Guys, go
Alright.
ahead. I'm going to... I think I'm going to be by myself for the rest of the night, if that's okay.
You know we treasure you, right, Flit?
I know.
She's gonna give Flit a soft hug, sorry. A soft but firm hug.
She will return the hug.
Right. Hey, Ravon! It is cold sake time.
Ravon, with the largest amount of shame in his eyes, just looks to you all and goes, I am sorry. I am sorry. I do not want any of you to suffer. You are my family, much like my mother, or all 3 of my siblings. I do not wish to put you into this.
Corey's gonna pull Ravon into a hug now.
He's gonna
If-
gently break down and cry.
Oh no, I was gonna hit him.
You can still do it.
It's okay. then she pats, and then she gives him a very firm pat. Yes, I'll roll.
Roll me an unarmed strike. Actually, roll me a strength check.
Please tell me she just 5-starred him.
No, I'm
Nah,
on the
she's-
Okay.
strike.
No, dex check, because you're a monk. I'll allow it.
Now she's gonna give him the 2-finger uncle
10.
whack from Jackie Chan Adventures.
It's decently firm.
No.
Not as firm as you
So-
would like, but decently firm.
I was
She's like,
thinking
pat,
that
pat.
I was thinking the Reaper Chop from Soul Eater.
I was also thinking that.
It's like the firmness that you do as like a sports player, where you smack your fellow sports player on the butt.
Good game.
Good game. Whack.
Yeah, pretty much like that.
We tried to bruise each other. I don't know if anyone else's team
What
tried
the
to do that.
fuck?
Yeah, we were mean. Cheer team and soccer team. We both just like went ham and just tried to whip the shit out of each other.
Wait, did you guys also do the punching hard on the arms too?
Yes.
Okay.
None of
Eh.
my teams ever did that. What the hell?
Different generations. I don't know.
Ah,
Right.
that's possible.
My wrestling team made it a habit of high-fiving and then immediately going into like holding someone's arm right behind their back just to test their freaking grips and whatnot.
Well, of fucking course they did. It was wrestling.
Soccer team,
Yeah.
football team, swim team. Shit.
I got wanged in the fucking leg with a baseball once. My team told me to walk it off.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah, I know. I did volleyball,
for, like, 2
track,
weeks.
and I did volleyball, track, and basketball, and never had that.
So, it sounds like to me that you all are absconding for the night, and some of you are going to be participating in onsen and sake.
Cold
and-
sake.
Cold sake, and some of you are absconding to sleep. Is that correct?
The moment, kind of almost as a natural natural habit, Corbin will definitely try to like throw his arm around Flit to try and join the group. I assume she'll just duck out of it and he'll just back off after that.
Absolutely correct.
I think Sarah is also going to not go with the group. I think she would like to go and do a little bit of like almost combat training, like smacking around a dummy.
Okay. Bring out some aggression.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Tart,
Alright.
may I have a short scene?
I was gonna ask if there was anything you wanted to do.
A little bit after everyone leaves.
Wait, let me change the music. Trying to find it. Hold on. There it is. Continue.
A little bit after Ravon and the rest of the group leave. Flit is going to walk down the hall. She's going to get to her room. She's going to pass it by. And keep on walking until she makes her way to Reno's study. And she's going to knock and see if he's in.
As you knock, you hear a enter.
Flit's going to walk in solemnly. Make her way to Reno.
Hello, dear. How are you doing? How was your intervention?
Flit is going to look at Reno. That same stern face. she has had since this whole thing began, since Ravon was brought into the castle. And it's going to begin to melt. The anger dissipates, eyes become watery as she dives into Reno's arms and begins to weep. No words, only tears.
He, sort of expecting that this might have been the case, quickly begins to coddle you, and the two of you sit on the floor for an indeterminate amount of time. I don't think that's a word. An undetermined amount of time. Will you just sort of let your feelings take over? He says nothing. Just holds you there and just lets you get it all out. Go ahead and make me a con save. Despite you having an extremely long day, you don't actually pass out from your lingering exhaustion. However, you are extremely tired, and I presume likely would retire to bed not long afterwards. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. The rest of you. Well, actually, we'll go to Sarah first. Sarah, you're beating up on a dummy, correct?
Correct.
Anything in particular, or are you just sort of going to town on it?
That's a good question. I would say probably just going to town on it with a sword.
Okay. Would you say Sarah in this moment is angry or frustrated?
More so frustrated, I think.
Okay. You, as you sort of begin going back over the events of the day in your mind as you're wailing on this dummy and going back over the conversation you just had with your friends, as it kind of all repeats in your mind and begins to get louder and louder, you with one frustration-filled swing, you hit the dummy and you realize your grip was not tight enough. And the sword, colliding with the dummy, flies out of your hand and takes a chunk out of the side of the dummy. And as you sort of stand there for a second, kind of realizing what you've done, you sort of sigh to yourself. You pick the dummy back up. You go over to pick your sword back up. And then you hear a familiar voice over from the side. Seems like you all had that conversation. And you look over and you see Corvo lingering in the doorway. How did it go?
He swore a fucking oath on the river Styx.
I don't know what that means, but I believe you.
One of the most important rivers in, I guess, religion. One of... It's the river...
I know what the river Styx is, but I don't know what that means for him.
He couldn't tell us what happened. Corey had to look into his mind to find out.
Of course. And what did you find out?
Apparently, Big Iron Bull Bison is his fucking father.
Yeah, I think
Eh.
that might be the case.
They swore a blood oath on the River Styx that the next time they saw each other, they would fight at full strength, and one of them would die. If Bison was killed, he would not be brought back. If Rovan was...
Clarification, not the next time they saw each other, just sometime.
Ah, okay, my apologies. They swore an oath that at some point they would fight at their full power, and one of them would die. If Bison died, he would not be brought back, but his legacy would be allowed to live on untarnished. If Rovan died, he would be brought back and forced to work for the Hellfire Assembly, forced to swear fealty to his father.
See, this is why I often don't work with too many of the religious types. It's all oaths and pacts, and I've been a part of my fair share of secrets strung together by these oaths. They usually end up getting other people hurt, like Sindri did.
You're a private investigator and date an assassin. You kind of signed up for secrets.
I suppose. Well, what are you all going to do now?
They're all going out drinking, having time to relax. Flit headed to bed, and I'm here.
He nods quietly. Do you need a sparring partner? Pretty sure the dummy is taken enough of a wallop.
Sarah looks at the dummy. Well, I suppose sparring with you couldn't go worse than it did with Chip.
The mushroom?
Long time ago, back when we were still on the road.
Mushroom lad.
Fucking nat 20 that bitch.
The funniest thing is, I was thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah. But the two of you come together, and for the next little bit, the two of you begin to spar. Corvo even teaches you a couple moves that you weren't primarily familiar with, or previously familiar with. But it's already pretty late, and eventually you find yourself heading back to your chambers for bed.
Okay.
As for the rest of you, you all take some time, you head for the onsen, you drink. Corey, you know there's someplace you need to be.
Yeah.
So I guess the first question is, how much do you drink and how long do you remain with the group before you abscond?
She wouldn't drink as much as she normally does, but she still drink a bit.
Go ahead and just make me one con save then.
15.
Okay. You're decently fine. You've
Buzzed.
You're buzzed, but you're still you're buzzed, but you're still coherent. As
She will slip away.
okay. As you begin to slip away, you notice that Diana sees you slipping away and goes, "Hey, where are you going?"
forget. Who all came to Team Onsen Time?
Your group except for Flit and Sarah. Even Sindri's there.
Cora will use a sending message to tell her.
Okay, fair enough. What do you say to her?
Cedric asked me to meet with him alone earlier today. And she makes like a scared, like... She makes like the nervous, like, thumbs up.
You see her give you sort of like the surprise, like a surprised expression, and then you get a message back that just goes, ooh woo?
I refuse to believe my wife went ooh
No.
at me. How fucking dare
I was
you?
gonna say, she's too classy for that.
She is too classy for it. You would get a message back going, for real? Do you know about what?
Cora just shakes her head.
She kind of
Wide-eyed, like worry, like not like a little bit of worry, like just because you know with recent events too, but also like I'm just nervous vibes.
Diana gives you, kind of gestures to you, sort of like a, do you want me to go with?
Shakes her head. I'll meet up with you later, love.
She nods. She gives you a smile. Blows you a bit of a kiss. You are sent on your way. You head back
Cora's
to...
going to pray to any god that will listen that she doesn't put her foot in her mouth somehow.
There are tasks that not even the gods can help us out with.
Even the gods sometimes go, there's a learning curve to all this.
Wow. Bringing that one back, I say.
Yes, I did. But you head back for the castle, and you eventually find Cedric in his room. No guard detail. The door's wide open. He's just sitting in a chair by the fire with what appears to be a whiskey glass in his hand. He's not even really drinking it, he's just sort of holding it, staring at the fire. Doesn't even seem to hear you come in. Or approach, rather.
She'll tap twice on the door frame.
Give me one sec. I want different music for this, because this could be interesting.
I'm feared.
Just starts playing Careless Whispers. Actually, let's go with this. Yeah, I think that's nice. What do y'all think? Alright, good talk.
It's not my say. I didn't want to say anything.
I don't want to say anything either. I'm afeared.
I literally asked what y'all think.
Sounds
Hey,
fine
this
to
is
me.
Cora's scene.
Like, listen, y'all is in the singular and the plural. All
That's
right?
fair. Fair enough.
Y'all means all.
Y'all means all.
I like it.
But you sort of tap on the door a little bit, and he turns. He sees you. Ah, there you are. And he puts the whiskey glass down, and he begins to stand up. And he sort of gestures for the door.
She'll close it as she steps in.
As you turn back to face him, you see he's kind of got one hand up on the mantle above the fire, What a fucking day.
Yeah, we all were just unwinding in the onsen with a whole bunch of cold sake.
Good to know I'm not the only one who's been drinking then.
No,
Corey,
but
you notice that there is a decently sized bottle of whiskey next to the glass that he set back down, and it is
I picture like a decanter, like
Yeah.
a huge one, you know?
a huge decanter that's probably about 2/3 of the way gone.
Perhaps in the future you could drink with us?
He smiles a little bit.
Alcohol goes down better with friends.
Isn't that the truth? Sometimes, though, I find a quiet drink by yourselves gives one perspective. But I will consider it. I appreciate
Silence is
the-
good though,
Silence
every
is
now and
good.
again.
Well, I called you here because I needed to talk to someone who, I don't know, isn't legally attached to me, like Theon. Theon's my friend, but he also works for me.
The guard's sanctioned by the king, so technically affiliate, but yeah. I can see that. Mostly removed. Are you fearing yes men?
You could say that. I'm more or less afeared of who might be listening. Corey, I think I know who our mole is.
Oh?
And the worst part is that I can't say it, because I don't know who is listening. Corey, do you trust me?
Oh shit.
Hit you with a real question there.
Her hands kind of clench a little bit. Yes. Then it scares me a little.
What scares you?
That so many people are mattering to me now. But tell me more.
He gets quiet for a moment. He picks the drink back up and he takes another swig of it. Corey, I'm going to have to do something incredibly stupid. And I can't tell you because I know you'll try to stop me.
Oh no.
I just need you to trust me.
Do you have to do whatever it is alone?
For now. But only for a time. The The reason I'm bringing this to you and to you alone is because this will involve your friends, and I need someone outside of my court that can convey this message to them. Soon, you all are going to be called upon. All I ask is that you answer.
She looks really pained, but like worried. A little like she's trying not to cry.
Would this potentially be visible to Cedric?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
He sets the glass back down and he approaches you.
Yes, but
He takes your hand. I have been known to be foolish. But I have always done things with the best of intentions. I've always thought out every step, every consequence. But I know that that doesn't always satiate the worry of those I hold dear. Which is why I ask that you simply, please trust me.
all right.
Thank you. In 2 days, I will be returning back to the front. With everything that's happened, we need a victory to give people hope. And unfortunately, considering we have few leads now on the Hellfire Assembly, this is the best that I can do at the moment, I'm afraid.
When you get back, I am going to beat the absolute shit out of you.
I mean, if you were going to do it, now would be the best time, considering I'm... And he kind of gestures with his arm, which is already covered in bandages. Can't exactly put up much of a fight now, can I?
We're by his desk. She's gonna roll up a piece of paper and then just bonk him on the head. There.
Ah. I could have you court-martialed for that.
By all means, draw and quarter me in the streets, my liege.
Thank you for hearing me out.
You're gonna give me gray hair. Between you and our group. I
I don't know. I don't think gray hair would look too bad on you. And then
Should be like a silver wave.
he then kind of realizes what he says, and he blushes a bit, and he goes, "Oh God, it's the alcohol that's talking. Oh no."
I mean, we already know what a silver fox you'll be one day, so.
You know, my, No, never mind. He sort of pauses for a moment. Just seems to think for a bit.
Cora's gonna put her hand on his face. Don't take too much on, okay?
He takes his hand and he puts it over yours. I promise.
She'll pull his head close and then pull their foreheads together. And then bid him good night. Be safe, Cedric.
You as well. And as you begin to leave and you reach the door, he goes, "Would you like to stay for a drink?"
You think you can keep up?
I was quite the drinking champion back in my day.
I fear fatherhood has made you soft.
Ooh. Suppose we'll have to put that to the test then, hmm? The two of you begin to drink. You tell stories. You talk. Way deep into the night. Deeper than the two of you had probably originally anticipated. But eventually, you find your way back to your room, to which Diana is already asleep. Do you wake her?
Not intentionally, but she will give her, like, a firm squeeze before bed.
She seems to rouse just a little bit. She rolls over and she looks at you. Hey, how'd I go?
He's going to do something stupid.
Yeah? Do you
We'll
see
just have to trust him.
always being like that, huh?
Yep.
And, did anything else happen? She gives you kind of like the knowing eyes. The eyes emoji.
Corey flushes, looks down. We drank and we talked a lot.
Oh?
For once, his shell and walls were not up. I think it was good to let him breathe.
God. She says with a bit of a smile. Looks like it did good for you as well.
Fat lot of good, yeah. For now. And she just pitifully slams her face into the pillow. He said to be ready if he called. I don't know.
Diana kind of closes in on you a bit and kind of begins like stroking the back of your head. We'll be ready then.
I'm so fucking scared. She says, just poking her face out, like not moving from her spot, but just putting her face out of the pillow off to the side, looking at her.
Yeah. I know.
For everyone, not just him, but especially him. Nexus and you and I know you all can fight and that we have Nexus very much under guard, but I feel like I'm not enough. There's just so much out there.
My dear. And she puts her hand on your face. None of us are enough on our own. That's why we're in this together. You don't have to be enough for everyone. Just for yourself. And I think you're enough for me. Maybe a bit too much, in fact. She says with a bit of a coy smile.
Too late to get rid of me now.
I suppose. Oh no.
What a tragedy.
What a
Quel
tragedy.
dommage.
What? I'm here
クール
for...
に決めてやるぜ。
My raid alerts started going off. I don't know why. I don't have my alert box up. I don't know why that went off.
If the stream couldn't hear it, that's probably an OBS thing. That happened to be a
No, I don't. I physically don't have my alert box in this source.
Yeah, I know. I know. What I'm trying to say is that just because it doesn't have it, the stream can't hear it, but for some reason OBS glitches to where you can hear it.
I don't know. I don't know if that would have come up on stream, but it did. It did scare me a little bit.
It's happened to me way too many times.
Bro, thank you for the raid. Well, dear, I think, considering it is probably about 4 a.m. or so, it is about time to go to bed. Anything else can wait until morning.
Yeah, you're right. And she's gonna pull Diana close and try to go to sleep, not worrying about everything.
Okay. It has been an exceptionally long day. You guys have done more fighting than you have up to this point. You guys now have alcohol. A few of you now have alcohol in your system. The adrenaline has worn down. As you guys finally drift off to sleep.
Hey Tart,
Oh?
point of order. Corbin's not going to drink as much, but he is definitely going straight to Ara's ship.
Yeah, I figured. You make your way to Ara's ship, which is back in port, thankfully undamaged. And you see her waiting, just kind of hanging off the side of the ship. Just easy approach. It looks like she's cut her hair a little bit. Not a lot, but she's definitely shortened it a little bit. I heard that these things are all the rage now, and she holds out what appears to be a sending stone.
Corbin will definitely use his face that once he gets close enough to kind of just pop right next to her on the ledge. And just, without really saying too much, just immediately go in for like a very deep hug.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hasn't seen her in freaking years.
She takes it a step further and just immediately begins to lay into you with kisses.
Yeah, definitely returns it.
I'm sorry I was gone for so long. But I'm here now. And I'm not leaving again.
He'll definitely stop the barrage of affection, and he'll say, "You had you had a lot to figure out, and honestly, I would have done the exact same. What matters is how we progress, and you realize I'm going to be on top of you, like a shadow, right?"
She smiles. She smiles at you, and she kind of holds your face. Wouldn't be the first time you've been on top of me.
I don't know, kind of prefer you, but yes.
Yo.
Hey, yo! Well, we got a lot of making up to do. And she begins to sort of pull you along.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even freaking resist at this point.
Yeah.
He just lets himself get dragged.
Yep. And we do the good old fade to black. As you all eventually find yourselves into a deep, somewhat drunk, but very, very exhausted slumber, you all will get the benefit of a long rest.
Finally!
Your level ups will take hold. And I need
Hooray.
everyone to make me a con save.
Oh my god.
10.
Nin- 19 for Fled.
Okay? I'm gonna roll for Diana on my end.
12.
22.
Diana with the
Sarah.
nat 20. Good shit.
Also, I'm
Same
gonna
thing for
roll.
Ravon.
I'm gonna roll for the Cloak of Stars as well.
Cloak stars.
Hey, got him back.
Hey, nice. Corey, why don't you actually go ahead and roll me with advantage for a reason that I'll explain here in a bit.
16.
Okay. All right. You all pass, which means none of you oversleep. And we'll get into why that's important when we come back from our break. Lot of emotions have been brought to the brink. A lot of chatter. A lot of feelings. So we're all gonna decompress for a moment. You guys have officially finished the assault on Dragon's Reach. You're officially level 15, and we are now officially in the end game. Good shit, y'all.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. But we're gonna take a bit of a break. We still got just a bit more to go. I am going to go use the bathroom. Brawl, again, thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. If you've never been here before, my name is Furry Tart. I'm a variety Doge tuber. I do D&D. I do variety games. This is a long-term homebrew campaign that I run here every week, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, or 6:30 p.m. CST. It is called War of the Shattered Sun, and it's the adventures of these chucklefucks, Exilia Regalia, as they do their harrowing adventures to stop a cult from something? Smile? Something involving a big bad dragon god, essentially. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what? That one's on me. I didn't think before I opened my mouth. That one's on me. We're gonna skimp on over that one, and we're gonna go take our bio break. How's it sound? I like it.
Yeah.
I liked how my yeahs were just getting more and more disappointed. Just yeah. But
Dumbass, we love you.
yes, and I love you all. I love you all so much.
Gay!
Yeah, I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna be right back.
I'm gonna go get me some ice cream.
Oh, I want it.
Butter pecan.
Not my thing, but I respect it.
I have Klondikes that I am desperately trying not to eat.
What would you
Hmm.
do for them, though?
Not eat them. I've had too much sugar today.
I'm sorry, too much sugar?
Correct.
That exists?
Yes, it's called Mountain Dew.
I see what you mean on that one, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I mean,
We had quite a tasty dinner, though. We had, well, it's nothing special. It was fried chicken, mac and cheese, and a Caesar salad, but uh, our resident cook decided to cook it instead of our usual one, and it shows. It had a nice, like, half sweet and sour, half General Tso's, like, thin sauce to pour on top. And the mac and cheese was surprisingly well seasoned. I couldn't pin down what, but it had a fantastic aftertaste. Good stuff.
we had turkey sandwiches.
I had Subway.
Yeah, our thing was Tagiri was not really feeling too great, so we figured, no, why not try and go for something like light?
Yeah, I had to bring a bird to the cities, and we ended up stopping to get food on the way home. My second ever solo rescue.
Did you like track the bird down and all that stuff, or
No, it was a baby barred owl. It was sitting in someone's yard where I used to live. So he called the Raptor Center, which is where I volunteer for, and they called me to go get it. Initially they wanted me to put it back in a tree, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that, and it's a good thing I didn't. So it got brought to the center today, and apparently it had a few fractures, which is why it's a good thing I didn't put it back in a tree.
Oh,
poor thing?
So hopefully it'll heal up well, and once it's good to go, we'll release it back where it was found.
I'm sorry, but the owl's looking back at you, going, "Don't talk to me. I'm angry."
Pretty much.
that is most owls.
Actually, it's really not. When they're injured and they're in a vulnerable state, they can actually be really super sweet. Like, they know you're trying to help them.
Huh.
Mine and my mom's favorite story is we had a great horned owl that we rescued, and he had a broken wing. So we were doing a little bit to get him stable until we could get him to the Raptor Center the next day. And he looked at my mom and just, with the most gentleness I have ever seen, wrapped his talons around her hand and just gave her this look like, "Thank you. I know you're helping me."
Aww.
Ah,
Oh, spooked.
I have
Okay,
acquired milk.
Okay, Isaiah Cassidy.
Meal.
Milk. Milk.
Milk. Milk.
Milk.
I don't give a shit what anyone says. Milk is a good drink.
Yeah, true.
It is. Especially if you had something spicy.
Yes. Yes.
Raise his glass in oat milk.
Back.
Yes.
I now
don't
want
get it,
Oreos.
but I feel for you with my lactose free.
Just
I gotta
pass
find
him the
Mike.
milk.
I gotta find lactose-free cheese for a thing I want to do.
Is it because it's like not quite soda, but it's something sweeter than water?
Juice?
Milk.
Fruit punch.
We're talking about
Iced
milk.
tea?
Milk?
Milk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got the first letter wrong. I thought we were talking about pilk.
Ew.
Why?
Because suffer, that's why.
Hey guys,
Meh.
Hmm.
flamethrower.
What?
Wasn't expecting you to throw the cheems at me.
Only boomer.
Barbecue sauce.
I stand alone as the one person who doesn't sheems in this freaking chat.
You are incorrect, actually.
Milk.
Bullshit, I've heard you fucking say it.
Say what?
I've heard you do it before.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking ow, cat.
Get him,
Sorry.
cat.
My fucking cat monkey fucking retracted his claws near my foot.
Oh, hi, Titan.
Titan.
Yep, he's looking up at me. The
that
little
old
shit
man.
trying to get into baked potato skins.
Pet that old man.
Come here, you. I still love you. Even though you try stealing lots of food. You fat butt.
Alright. Quick roll call. CG.
Eh?
Tart. Huh? J Frost.
Huh.
Are we doing Minecraft villager impressions? Joe.
Huh?
What's huh?
Punk.
Yeah.
And Sarah.
Hmm.
Okay. We are all
Side note, Joe, your Courage the Cowardly Dog reference is noted and appreciated.
Just gonna tip Just gonna tip my hat.
But we are back. Let me go ahead and throw on some music. Let me see. I haven't gotten to use this track in a bit. The next morning, you all awaken in your various locations. You all remembered that you do have that Cedric is planning to give a public hearing today, addressing the city regarding the events of the day prior. You all, thankfully, managed to make sure that you don't oversleep. Corey, you almost did, and then you were awoken to the sounds of Diana actually getting ready, as she is one of the not speakers, but she's one of the main representatives in this hearing, and she has to look her best.
Yup, she gotta be present.
She gotta be present. So, my question is, as you all begin to climb out of bed, some of you maybe just a little hungover, but nothing too bad, and begin to get ready for the day, does anyone choose to not go to the hearing? I'm gonna take it by that silence that everyone is going then.
Oh, the announcement. Yes. Yeah, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. As you guys are beginning to make your way out, Diana will say to you, Corey, only a few of the folks are going to be on the stage with Cedric, but I do think it would be best if you guys were in the crowd, making sure that everything was good. You know what I mean? Morale is a
Security,
bit
you
low,
got it.
Things are a bit heated. Yeah.
Less, I was going to say less security, more making sure the people are in favor of Cedric.
Yeah.
Eyes and ears, got it. Corey's just kind of bleary.
All right. You all make your way down to the town square, where even now, as you guys go throughout the town, there are still bodies, not just of monster, but of people. The attack yesterday really took its toll on this place, and it's going to be cleanup is going to take a while, but everyone is sort of taking a moment aside from that to attend this public hearing. Or at least a good number of people are. As you get closer, you see that there has been quite the crowd has been arranged, and those who are not directly attending, you can presume that they are listening in or perhaps preparing themselves for whatever this is going to be about, whatever is going to be said. As you all sort of file your way into the crowd and get closer to the stage, you do see up on the stage, alongside Diana, is Theon. The two seem to be discussing a little bit. There are quite a number of guards. There's a decently large detail here. One for security, and two just, to make the people feel a bit safer, considering what just occurred. Corey, with your observant feature, you can read the conversation that Theon and Diana are having, and it's at this moment mainly just pleasantries. They're just asking how they're doing, just going over the basic things. Theon gives a little bit of the overview of what exactly the results of yesterday were, but he actually admits that this is mainly just for morale, and he isn't actually aware as to what Cedric is going to directly be saying.
So, before the speech, Corey's gonna try to bob and weave through the crowds, trying to pretty much do get people on Cedric's side preemptively.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping random little rumors here and there about in favor of Cedric and the guard.
Okay. Make me just a charisma check.
Bip. 14?
Very good. You get a number of people kind of whispering among themselves, and you feel like you've brought the mood up a little bit. You've got people talking, which is probably one of your favorite sensations. But eventually, a horn rings out, and a noble-looking individual asks for everyone's attention in welcoming Cedric. There's a bit of an uproar as Cedric is quite favorable among the people. But as morale is a bit lowered, it's not as... What's the word I'm looking for?
Enthusiastic?
Enthusiastic as you might have originally envisioned. What would have been on a normal day. But Cedric takes the stage and he sort of puts his hand up. The crowd begins to die down, and after a moment of quiet, he begins to speak. My friends, a dark day has taken this city. Yesterday we faced an assault unlike anything we had seen before. Many lives were lost, and an attempt on my own was made. Those who orchestrated this attack are still out there, waiting in the shadows, waiting for us to drop our guard. I'm sorry. I acted to the best of my ability, but even now I feel like I let you all down. I was powerless to stop it. But I swear to you that I will do everything in my power to not let it happen again. And as he speaks, a voice from the crowd calls out, Wat Stark was right about you! You are a well-spoken, bleeding heart. But when push comes to shove, you're powerless. We can't expect you to protect us. Everyone go ahead and make me a history check. Corey, you get advantage.
That's a big ol' 11.
20.
6.
12!
12. Ravon. Ravon.
My apologies, my headset would not unmute.
You're good. Can
Sorry.
I get a history check?
By all means. History. That's a 6.
The name Wat Stark is pretty unfamiliar to most of you. Corey, you've heard the name. You've heard the name, but you're trying to put together where you've heard it from. Corvin, you, being the gossip monger that you are, you have heard discussions about a Wat Stark, and I will give you all spelling on that name.
Thank you.
Wat Stark was a man who attempted a coup on the Dragon's Reach throne. When Aurelia Aragon passed away. God, perished makes it sound way worse. When Aurelia Aragon passed away, Wat Stark attempted a coup at her funeral.
What a disrespectful cunt!
That is a whole new level of disrespectful.
He made claims against Cedric's power and his claim to the throne being given to him by the former King Wrexham, which I don't think I've put that name here, so I will do that now. And claimed that if Cedric had been stronger, if he had not been powerless, the people would trust him more, and that Aurelia would still be alive. He was butchered by Cedric. Shut
Gee,
up.
I wonder why.
I see that. Shut up.
What?
God damn it.
But he slandered Cedric's court. He slandered his wife. He slandered his name. He slandered his power. And Cedric, as you can imagine, took exception to that. as this voice calls out from the crowd, you all pinpoint it to be a middle-aged man, maybe about in his mid-40s, probably mid to late 40s. He's kind of, he's got like that salt and pepper like goatee. He's balding just a little bit, only enough to where you would really only notice if you were really looking. But as he calls us out, Cedric kind of locks up, and Diana takes exception to this. How dare you? Wat Stark was a manipulator that slandered King Aragon at the late Queen's funeral and tried to overthrow him. He said the same things that you do now when your king puts his life on the line every day fighting for you. Meanwhile, you stand there and berate him? He's doing his best even though you don't deserve him. And while she's going off on this man, understandably so, those with a higher passive perception, so this would be Corey, Flit, Lily, let me see, who else? Corvin, I would give it to you as well.
Woo.
You'll see Cedric kind of kneel down. You're not entirely sure why, but as you look a bit closer, a small pink tiefling girl has approached the stage. And reaching up, hands Cedric this beautiful blue flower. Anyone familiar with this girl would recognize it as Valyria. As for the flower, anyone who's proficient with nature can make me a nature check. This flower, if anyone's ever seen a fire lily, which I think are native to, I think it's Rwanda? I gotta double check.
You said it's only the ones with higher passive perception that see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see. Here you go. A photo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's a tiger lily.
It is basically that flower, except this beautiful, almost like crystalline blue. Flit. This is a sapphire lily. They are incredibly hard to grow.
Interesting.
She hands him the single lily. And she says something, but none of you can make it out. Cedric smiles. He takes the flower. He stands back up, and while Diana is berating him, he simply goes, "That's enough." Diana turns to him. "But Cedric, that's enough," I said. He looks to the man. "As he seemed to be a fan of Wat Stark's ideology, I will tell you what I told him. Don't mistake my good nature and discipline for weakness. I am sure you lost someone, and I apologize for that too. However, that makes you no different than anyone else here. We've all lost someone, and we will not stand divided in these trying times." He pauses for a moment, and he looks back at the flower in his hand. "If I am not the hero that you seek, then allow me to praise the heroics of this group of individuals. Exilia Regalia," and he gestures towards your group, "whose efforts have safeguarded us more than once in previous months. Who not only came to my aid as assassins knocked down my door, but culled hordes of these monsters in our streets, including the large dragon hybrid. They came to our aid when things were at their worst and closed the sinkhole. Without them, things would have been drastically worse. They are heroes, and it is time they be recognized as such. He looks at you all. Thank you, Exilio Regalia, for your service and for your sacrifices thus far. And a commotion sort of comes over the crowd as they all begin to sort of take notice of your group. And then hear the odd sound of clapping. Those with higher passive perceptions. The higher passive perceptions. So in this, it would be just Flit and Kore. See that the first to start clapping. Druid duo.
Fist bump.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid high passive perception. We love to see it. You notice that this clapping begins from a familiar blue tiefling known as Arxis. This cascade effect started by him begins to take over the crowd, and it begins to become applause, cheering. Those closest to you begin to start like thanking you and like starting to shake your hands. Cedric just looks at you all, he smiles, and he gives you a nod.
I want to add in quick. Sarah is blushing. It looks like she's trying to disappear.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cord would definitely stop her right there and just say, just get used to it.
Cora's very pink. Just all over, just trying, like, with the frantic hands, like, no, it's okay. Just
What's
happy to
doing-
help.
Flit's doing the like back of the head rubbing, looking downward in a way like, oh, I don't know what to say.
I think it goes without saying. Yeah, Corvin's basking in this. Like, he's fucking doing a whole, like,
Yeah.
bow and everything, and
Yeah.
just drinking it in, man.
Mhm. You guys have been praised for your accomplishments before, but this is on a whole new level. This level you guys are unfamiliar with, except maybe Corvin, primarily because of Corvin's extremely large family. But even this, like, this is thousands of people. This is a lot of people.
The funny thing is that he actually kind of looks at this whole situation and gets he looks like he's getting a little nostalgic. Although there's like a faint like frown kind of given where he was expecting to get this from.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to the whole, appreciating the crowd.
Cedric calls out again, kind of getting the crowd to settle a bit. As for myself, I will not stop until those who would bring death and destruction to our doorsteps are hunted and brought to justice. Tomorrow, I leave you all. I return back to my duties, back on the front lines. And I will make sure to fight with every one of your hearts in mind. But I know that we are still under recovery. I know that there's still much cleanup to be done. And my vizier, my assistant, Theon Dragonhawk, will see to all your concerns in my stead. As well as Leigh LeBlanc, who you can find in the Echo Dea. If there are any questions or concerns, please consult one of them. And God's bless you all. And with that, things sort of begin to settle down. Begins to come to an end. And eventually everyone begins to go on their way. Arxis approaches you all and goes, "Well, would you look at that? The heroes of Dragon's Reach, my dear lovelies. Oh, I'm so glad to see that all of you are all right."
Not you. I heard that you held the third wish quite well during the whole assault.
Yes, extra-dimensional spaces are surprisingly good, no, unsurprisingly good at holding large quantities of people. So, the otherwise standard confines of my shop were of no real concern. But I was a bit worried when I hadn't seen nor hide nor hair of you all. So I'm glad to see you all safe and remaining diligent.
Yeah, we were a bit busy, and it sounded like you were doing pretty well, so we didn't swing by. And thanks for what you did a moment ago.
Of course, dearies. People need a little hope to make sure they get along. And, well, one positive voice can drown out a sea of negativity.
Although I was a little surprised that this Watt Stark still had believers and followers.
Watt Stark is... that was an interesting character. You could say he had a cult following of his own, but thankfully now it's mainly just dissenters, those who resent the throne.
Although it sounds like they are trying to appropriate his tactics and kicking somebody when they're down.
Indeed. Shameful display, really. But I think Cedric handled that rather well.
That guy was a real jerk, but you're right.
Well, yes. I'm glad to see you're all right. I have business to attend to, but please come and see me again soon, as I'm sure I will have a new supply for you all.
Of course. And our mutual friends are okay, right?
Oh yes, they are quite fine. I made sure to
good.
check up on them once everything started to go down, and thankfully they were completely unaware of what was occurring. I'm sure they'll be more than a little surprised when they return.
Arxis, will have to pay you a visit about a personal matter I was hoping to pick your brain for.
Ooh, I do love personal matters. I will keep
Oh,
that
I
in
know you.
mind.
I know you do, darling.
But I must be off. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. Toodaloo. And he begins to abscond from the scene. You all have the rest of the day to do what you want. Due to time constraints, we are going to leave things a bit small. We're going to make things a bit quick, and I'm just going to quickly go through and ask everyone what they would like to do with the rest of their day. You guys have no immediate business unless you wish to help with the recovery effort. Recovery and cleanup, which I'm sure many efforts would be greatly appreciated, but ultimately is up to you. We'll start with Rovan. Rovan, what do you do the rest of the day?
Rest of the day goes with Ravan aiding in recovery, reconstruction efforts, basically lending his strength where he can. And other than that, just basically trying to make sure that people are alright. Providing a little bit of lay on hands where he can, just for people that need to get stabilized.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Corvin, what are you doing?
Definitely gonna track down Theon.
Okay, you're tracking down Theon. For anything in particular, or is it the thing you messaged me about?
It's the thing I bothered you about yesterday.
Got
yes.
Got you. As you come up to Theon, he goes, Good. I was actually hoping to see one of you soon. I have a
Oh,
I have a gift from our liege for your group.
oh, what is it exactly?
And he holds out a key. This is for you.
Kind of
There is a
expects-
nice scenic overview just outside the city that goes alongside the riverbanks. And there happens to be a vacant keep that may or may not have once belonged to our team in our efforts some time ago. Cedric and I, as well as most of the Vanahir Guard, besides from the ones too busy to get in touch with us, thought it would be good to exchange ownership. You guys have just received the key to River Run Keep. Y'all
fuck.
basically just got a fortress.
Yes.
Do we have to go to River Run though? Because I kind of want to go towards
Uh-huh.
Salted.
Uh-huh.
There we go. That was the one.
That's Riverwood. Not even fake fan.
Can't believe.
It's been a fucking minute since I played that game. All right, let's fucking.
No, you're good. I knew that was where you were going, though.
I was gonna say. Either way. So Corbin will definitely put the key in like one of his coat pockets and he'll say you. This is actually a surprise. You honor us.
No, this is the least we could do, considering what you all have done for us in the last 24 hours. You all are entitled to the keep itself, as well as anything you might find within it. I'm sure if you poke around, you can find notes or, I don't know, machines or items from our previous adventures.
Something tells me Sindri is going to be holed up in there for a hot minute.
Well, that keep used to have Nicholas's old workshop, so
Oh yes, with his level of fanboydom, he's going to love it.
I just imagine Flint walking in. It's like, hey guys, this avocado gave me a ring.
if you punch one of the walls hard enough, there's chicken inside.
Wait, for real?
But with that, is there something I could help you with?
Yeah, excuse me, you kind of blindsided me with that one. I was actually wondering if there's a place that we could talk to in private.
Of course. Right this way. And he escorts you back to the castle. You two have a bit of casual conversation as you walk. And once you're alone, he goes, so, private conversation. I assume it's important.
I currently have a theory that might be able to combat Aurelia.
Go on. As he pours himself a 2 cups of water, gives one to you.
Excuse my vagaries on this one, but I have to be very careful with my words. Let's just say what made Aurelia into what she is might be cured with a very strong magic spell.
So what did you have in mind?
Modify memory at its highest casting capacity.
He gives you a quizzical look, and then you can see him doing, like, calculations and things in his head. He's slowly kind of nodding. I think I see where you're going with this. And if you are asking for me to prepare you this spell, I can certainly do that. It will take a bit of time, of course, but...
The amount of time isn't really important. I just I need this. And I need this before we go and face her.
That I can do. I'll see it done. I will add that to my schedule, which is about to become far busier, but I will get it done.
I mean, you're only running a kingdom.
I must admit I don't envy Cedric's position, but it is what I'm here for.
You truly are a good friend, Theon.
Cedric is my oldest friend. We've known each other since, well, we were children. I would do many things for that man, and I like to think he would do the same.
It's kind of nice how loyalty like that can take us. But I have a privateer captain to make sure that I shower with affection, and I do hope you have a good day.
Yes, you all go rest. I realize the recovery effort is important, but make sure for you all to recover as well.
Oh, right, the recovery. Almost forgot about that one. He will put his hand on his chin and just kind of, in a mindlessly contemplative pose, just leave the office.
Okay. Do you, in this sort of state, do you, take the glass with you?
Yeah, why not?
You see he cut, well, I guess you wouldn't see, but, the audience would see as Corvin begins exiting the room. Theon kind of puts his hand up, almost as like almost like to stop you, but as he sees you leaving with his glass, but he just kind of retracts it, goes, I like
Although-
that glass.
To help out, once he's finished with it, he's just gonna place it on like a random sconce or like
Okay.
or
Easy
just
enough.
somewhere random.
Yeah, easy enough. One of the servants will find it. One of the help will find it. But,
But yeah, that's all he has.
okay. Flit, what are you doing with the rest of your day?
Primarily helping to rebuild as much as possible using all of my elemental spells, like,
Keep going, I'm just changing our music.
move earth, stone shape, wall of stone, which is a lot to. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, that's probably about 2 hours of work.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work for the average person, just some spell slots for you.
Yeah.
And your efforts are greatly appreciated. You see collections of individuals and especially children who are sort of marveling at the efforts you are putting through with this highly intense level of magic. Eventually, Kieran comes by and begins to assist you as she has fully recovered from expending yourself from the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for those looking, it is not on the map. It is just outside the city.
What did you say the name of it is?
River Run Keep. I will give that to you all here.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all for you, Flit?
There are a few things.
Okay.
Really, probably just the one, considering how much time it's going to take up. But
Mm-hmm.
she'd probably spend a little time with Reno, but most of her day, after she makes sure that as much of her earthbending is done, she's finally going to finish that damn book.
Absolutely. Just in time, too. You take the time to finish the rest of the book, and your wisdom will increase by 2. You're now at 22 wisdom.
Yes.
You are now the wisest of the group, and now I think your passive perception is above Corey's.
21.
Maybe.
So now,
Nice.
I could start picking you out first for passive perception calls. Smile. Sorry, Corey.
Hey.
It's okay.
But very nice, very nice. Anything else for Flit?
Let's see. Little time with Reno. The book. Honestly, the book is probably just going to take up so much time. I don't think
Yeah.
she'll have any other open.
To plow through the rest of the book, that will take most of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
She needed a moment to herself.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, Sarah, what are you doing with the rest of your day?
How close is the nearest forest?
Just outside the city.
Sarah's probably gonna head outside the city and just relax in nature for a little while.
Fair enough. Take a bit of time to yourself. Easy said, easy, whatever. I almost said I started going for the easy come, easy go, but I said easy said, and I guess the second part would be easy done. I don't fucking know.
Little high, little low.
But absolutely. Is that all you wish to do with the rest of your day?
She might do a little bit of hunting while she's out.
Okay, absolutely. I won't make you roll for that, as fucking you're level 15, and I don't think I need to make you roll to make sure you hunt literally anything, you know?
I don't know, I could hit Flit again.
That's true. You know what?
From fucking all the way over
Let's see if you
there.
hit a random hunter in the woods. Roll me a survival check. Okay. I was only gonna do it if you got
28.
that one.
Look at. She hunts down. It just somehow, some way, shape, or form, Flit still gets hit with an arrow.
You fucking know what would happen too.
I just flip open another page and out pops the arrow from like the fifth one.
Sarah comes back with a whole person draped over her shoulder, and she goes, "Guys, look! I hunted long pork."
Long.
Oh, no.
I had no idea where you were going with that.
Anyways, so
Guys, quick, I need help hiding a body.
You're on your own.
you guys have favor of the king now. He could rule it as an accident.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Corey, what are you doing with the rest of your day?
Probably looking into reorganizing Havana Hall and seeing if it can handle more or if it needs repairs.
Okay. You spend most of the day with sort of draped across the table with schematics, making calculations. You have a couple individuals help you out with sort of a few skilled like carpenters and architects sort of helping you sort of plan how to expand the location, as well as a little bit of consultation with Theon in regards to potentially casting more wards and spells on the location itself. Anything else?
That and just seeing the areas that were hit the hardest.
Okay. Absolutely. You all spend the day doing your
クール
very...
に決めてやるぜ
My raid alert went off again. Jesus Christ.
Thanks, OBS.
It is...
Also,
It is playing through the stream, I'm pretty sure. So, don't know what to do with that there. But, Five Guys Rolling Dice, thank you for the raid.
Welcome.
Welcome. But, you all spend some time throughout the rest of the day doing your various activities, helping who you can. Jorge, as I mentioned before, you begin planning for your improvements upon Havana Hall. And Corvin, would it be safe to say you probably go out at some point and go and find the keep? If not, most of your group goes and finds the keep at some point?
He would definitely try and wait until everyone's like gathered again to kind of try and find it. But as he's like leaving the castle, he definitely does come up with a small idea to pretty much spread word around about a concert outside of the sinkhole.
Ooh.
Where the sinkhole used to be.
That actually, sorry,
I like it. I like it.
that actually just brought up a good question. Sarah is hunting outside the city walls. Would it be possible for her to accidentally stumble across the keep?
I'd say with that survival check, the 28, I'd say that's, especially if Corvin Corvin, would you have told the group about the keep the moment you heard about it? The moment you learned about it?
I'm going to say Sarah had likely disappeared before then.
Well, Corvin also has access to sending, so that's why I'm asking.
That's true.
He would have sent something to Diana to increase the network of sending so he doesn't use as many spell slots, yes. And then he would definitely send one to Lily, Flit, and yeah, for the third, Diana.
Okay.
Goodbye, third level spells.
Okay. So, Sarah, you probably do stumble across the keep and don't necessarily realize that you guys now own this keep before you come across it, but you then eventually will find out later, yes, that is definitely the keep you came across.
Okay.
It is a very nice keep stationed along the riverbank. There even seems to be a sort of small port and gate where you could park a boat. Nothing too big, but a ship big enough to go down the river.
So not like Ara's ship.
Not Ara's ship, no. Probably a smaller, probably ship
Like a
for
longboat?
probably a max of maybe 8 people.
Like a river barge.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking longboat.
A longboat would probably do it.
Yay.
But it's a very nice keep. You can see that it's definitely been here for a bit, and it has been without a, it has been vacant for a little bit, but now you guys own it. But, with that being said, as the day begins to wind down and night comes again, I have just one more scene I would like to do, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure.
Let me find my music. Corey, you think back, kind of as the day lingers on a bit, you think back to your conversations with Cedric from the night before, and you have this kind of gut feeling that's sort of drawing you back. Do you seek Cedric out?
He's probably prepping to leave. Yeah, I feel like I could catch him.
Okay. Realizing he's likely prepping to leave, you stop on by his quarters, and you do see he is indeed sort of... He's not like packing a bag, but he's definitely like getting his matters in order, his belongings in order for him to leave. You see, rather as opposed to the formal attire he was wearing before, he is now in, frankly, pretty simple clothing. Just like a pant and shirt. And as you sort of approach, he goes, "Oh, Gore. Pardon, I'm not up to my standard visage. How can I help you?"
Relax. I'm here to see you as a man, not my king.
Well, That takes a load off my mind.
I really just wanted to see if you were doing alright because fuck that guy earlier.
Yes, unfortunately, that's not the first time I've heard someone speak out from Stark's following, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But
Are they all such disrespectful cunts?
legally and officially, I can't use that word, but yes,
I can.
indeed you can. And I thank you for that.
You need
because
only
it's not
say
incorrect.
yes. Ah, see, I get you.
My dog has entered. That scared the shit out of me.
The door just.
Yeah.
Hello, father.
He hit me with the "Are you winning? Are you winning, Dad?" He takes a moment and he sits down on the end of the bed. I didn't exactly have a lot of time to prepare a well thought out speech, but I thought I did decently well.
It's good to acknowledge the elephant in the room, that way it doesn't leave people to speculate and all that. God knows people are gossipers.
Speaking of elephants in rooms, can we talk for a moment?
Her ears like kind of flip back, like, oh shit. Yeah?
He sort of sits there for a moment and he kind of looks down at his hands. Corey, fuck. And he gets up and he goes over and he uncorks a new decanter and he just takes a swig straight from it. And then he kind of holds it out to you.
Oh my god, so you're gonna tell me I'm banished? What the fuck?
No, something much, much worse.
What? Ta-da! Treason!
Treason! He's still holding the decanter out.
Oh, to Corey?
Yeah.
I had enough last night for now. Maybe later.
Fair enough. He puts the cork back in. He sets it back down. Corey, when you first got here, I thought you were... No offense. I thought you were slightly
boy.
insufferable. I'll never forget...
Wait, is he sitting on the bed or like on a chair? Like what? She's
No,
gonna like.
He's standing by the banister right now. He had to get up to get this to get the drink.
Oh my. No, go on.
I remember
Tell me more. Hmm.
I remember fondly knighting your group in your assistance to us, and I remember you and Corvin specifically refusing to kneel, which, at the time, I thought you two were assholes for it. But I respected it and let it
That's
slide.
fair.
I mean, fair, but fuck, dude.
Now, every day you and your group bring me not just happiness, but hope. It's almost a nostalgic feeling. And, well, recent discussions with you and Diana have made me realize a few things about myself that I'm not sure I was originally aware of. I feel... I'm sorry, I've never been very good at this. I feel... free. I feel like weight's been taken off of me. I'm not really sure how to describe it. I know that every time I see you and I see Diana, I find myself feeling more confident, smiling more. Not just hopeful, I'm happier. And at this point, he slowly, he kind of begins to approach you just a little bit. And I don't know if you feel the same, if Diana feels the same, and I don't want to fuck something up. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this, had any feelings like this, and I feel... I don't know how I feel. And he, with one hand, kind of slowly takes yours. I feel better. I feel like I'm doing better. Does this kind of make sense?
Yes. I think so. Somewhat feel maybe safer, I don't know.
He smiles a little bit. And there's a bit of a longing gaze between you two. Can I kiss you?
Yeah. And she leans in.
There's an embrace. There's that heart-pounding shock that you always experience from a first kiss. It's breathtaking, it's wonderful, it's exciting, it's terrifying. As the moment lingers for a few moments, there's that feeling of not wanting it to end. And as night takes hold again, that is where we are going to wrap for tonight. Thank you all for being here. Punk, how do you feel?
I'm so fucking red!
Let's go! It's cute
It's
as
adorable!
fuck. The first throuple has been established.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, while the session may not be over, there's a bit of business to handle, which you all already were aware of this, as I mentioned it after our session last week. So, gang, you all are about to go into a substantial amount of downtime. You all are about to get a month of downtime. This is going to be different from our standard downtime in that this is going to act as an impromptu ASI. During the course of the next month, you guys can perform 2 of the following. And I'm going to give you a list. And don't worry about writing this down. I'm going to post it for you all.
Thank you.
Over the next month, you can participate in increasing 2 points in one stat or 1 point in 2 stats. You can potentially take a feat within reason, of course, and approval will be required. So obviously things within reason are allowed, but not things like Fey Touch, Shadow Touch. Those are not going to be allowed for obvious reasons. You can only do so much in 1 month. But if you wanted to take, say, the Chef feat, that would be within reason. But more on that later. That would be something we would work with together to come up with. You may take a language. You may take a skill proficiency. You may take a tool proficiency. The skill proficiency specifically has to be something you don't already have. You cannot get expertise. It has to be something you don't have already. You can take a weapon proficiency. For our casters, you can take a cantrip. You can get an additional cantrip to your repertoire. Those are the basics. During the course of the month, you can also, if you wish, explore River Run Keep. You can uncover the keep's secrets and potentially find treasure belonging to the original Vanihir Guard, if you wish to participate in that. You can also, if you want, participate in another activity outside of this list. For example, I know that Corvin wants to work on the Enigma Gate. That would fall into this month period of time. That would be choosing to work on the Enigma Gate would count as one of his 2 actions performed. And then finally, there's the Air Lyrion. The Air Lyrion is a monastery, which name is sort of a legend. The Air Lyrion is a monastery that focuses on physical rebirth. You can spend time in the Air Lyrion to get a complete respec of your sheet. You can change any aspect of your sheet. Say you want to drop levels in Druid to become to dip into Fighter, you can do that. You will be back up to 15. You will keep the scores that you have already, but you'll be able to basically take your sheet apart and put it back together in a way you see fit. You could take all your levels in Wizard, for example, and instead drop them all into Fighter. The choice is ultimately up to you, but that is an option available to y'all. The problem with this is that if you do choose the Air Lyrion, that will take the entirety of the month. Respecking will be the only thing you will be able to do. Provided it's not, unless it's something minor, like, oh, I want to take away this skill proficiency for a different skill proficiency. That wouldn't take as long. But a complete respect will take the entire month. A bit of note for this. RP. That is not included in this list and will be provided for free because you guys know a lot of NPCs. You have a month. I assume you're going to want to talk to people. So that, just think about who you want to talk to and we can handle that. Items can be commissioned. Prices and materials will be determined by me based on what you want. I know Rovan wants to get a hold of a set of armor that he's been slowly putting together over time. That would fall into this category. Those are, again, not included in the downtime actions. That is just something that we will discuss. So, with all that being said, I am going to put this in... We'll put this in lore drops. And then I need to put my hyphens in there because I didn't copy them over because of Google Docs. But does all this sort of make sense to everyone?
Absolutely.
For the
Makes
most
sense
part,
to me.
Yeah, and we get a single choice out of all this?
You get 2 choices from the list.
Oh.
You can pick any 2 options provided you don't do an Air Lyrion respect. So, say Corvin decides that he wants to work on the Enigma Gate and also pick up a new language. That would be his 2 picks for the month. Say Flit wants to explore Riverrun Keep and then add a cantrip to her list. That would be her 2 picks for the month. You can pick any of the 2, but only 2.
Question then.
Yes.
What, say it's gay and also the other action would be a feat. Would that be allowed?
Say what? I'm sorry?
So...
Oh, gate. Sorry, I thought you said say it's gay, and I was like, I'm sorry?
That's what I heard
that
too.
is-
So I
That is
wasn't
my
going
apology.
insane.
Okay, that is
Hey.
my apologies. Okay.
No, you're
fine.
fine. You're fine. I pieced it together. But yes, that would be valid. That would be, you would be able to do that.
Okay.
We need to.
What's up, Siege?
I'm just saying that Joe needs to help discover if gay is bad here.
I have to
God
like
damn it.
look it up in a fucking book and like do a lot of like cross-referencing on a lot of cultures.
But yes, feats do a lot, so frankly, the feats are on there, but obviously I'm not allowing all feats as it is only a month. Like things like the linguist feat, that is off the table because that is 3 languages in a month,
it's a
and I
lot of
can't in good
languages.
conscience allow that.
That's fair.
That is why the feats are going to require approval, but that's simply just going to be like, hey, can I have this feat? And I go, yes or no. But with that being said, you guys have a few weeks to think on that, as next week, gang, we will not be here. I'm moving next week. So we're going to be taking a bit of a hiatus as I fucking slur my words and have a fucking stroke. So we will not have a session next week, May 21st. 21st. And our next session will likely be, keyword likely, be on the 28th. Provided, barring any acts of God or the internet exploding. I don't know. I'm going to be doing a self-installation kit, so honestly, we'll fucking see how it goes. But, provided everything is set up by then, that will be our next session. So, with that being said, thank you all for joining us today. Bro Kaiser and Five Guys Rolling Dice, thank you both for the raids. I hope you appreciate I appreciate you stopping on by here and bringing your communities over. If you've never been here before, my name is Farting Tart. I'm a Doge tuber. I do D&D. I do variety games. This is our long-term 5e homebrew campaign called War of the Shadow Sun that we run here every Sunday. And our party just hit level 15. Let's go! And we are just now entering the end game. If you do find yourself interested in this campaign and if you want to see more of it, the entire campaign is currently uploaded on YouTube at youtube.com/fartingtart in a neat and handy little playlist for you all. So, yeah, if that so suits your fancy. Yes. But, with that being said, we gotta go ahead and get on out of here. So let's go ahead and start doing outros. Let's start with CG.
Hello, I am the CG. You can find me nowhere because I don't much care for social media, but you can find me on other Good Beans D&D channels such as twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn, where we do every Saturday our Strixhaven campaign, Saved by the Spell.
Every Saturday?
I said every other.
Oh, I was like, when did it become every Saturday?
No, it's every other Saturday. We got vampires.
Yeah, you
It
do.
sucks.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
All right. Pass it to someone.
I'm gonna pass it on over to. I'll pass it over to Sarah.
You suck. They can find me at, well, not at twitch.tv/wolfstalker16 because I don't stream. But they can find the Good Bean Kozguk at twitch.tv/Kozguk. She's the best bean. She frequently does essentially charity streams where she raises money for good causes. And she is just a good British bean. She refers to herself as the coffee bean, and that is very accurate. So go check her out and give her some love and say I sent you. Joe.
Frost is talking about you.
No, you're not getting out of this.
All right, fine. Hey, hey there, YouTube chat. Hi, how's it going? I see you there. I see everything. You can't hide from me. Hey, you should also go ahead and you're on YouTube, I know, so just go ahead and like the video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the bell for the alerts because they actually do matter. Like, legitimately, type Orion from Curse of Strahd. Yes, that module into Google. What's it gonna come up? Tart's video. Just saying.
Let's go.
Top 1% streamer of D&D.
Let's go.
Anyway. When you're not doing that, you know what you can do? As a favor to me.
Tell me, Joe.
You know what you can do? Go to twitch.tv/awickedriver97. They are the river that makes you quiver. They will be back to streaming hopefully soon because it is good vibes and also good peeps. Speaking of which, Frost, you can't get out of this either. Go.
God damn it. Hi, Twitch and Twitter, JFrost747. Streams are a little crazy, but things are looking good. As stated before, got our lovely Saved by the Spell campaign coming up this week. Torturing my players with some vampires. Might be some sweet treats in store. You never know. Other than that, catch me every other day doing some Valheim streaming, some Fortnite streaming, and Skyrim streaming. Getting married in a couple weeks. Looking forward to that. So yeah, good punk.
Punkles?
Shit. You all can find me on Twitch. Oh god, I almost did it again. Well, I'm technically still on Twitter, so I mean Twitch, Twitter,
You are on
Tumblr,
Twitter.
Instagram.
You don't use it, but you are on Twitter.
I don't really use social media. I just have accounts on them. Every now and again I post things, so follow at your own risk. I'm also moving next week. Mini moving, and then bigger moving the next week. So the end of the month. I doubt I'll have my rig the last week of May. I'm not sure. We'll see. Well, maybe. We'll see. But that's me.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I suppose that just leaves me. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. My name is Farting Tart. I have been your humble dumble master for the evening, as I usually am on Sunday nights. And I appreciate you all stopping by here. You have already found me here at twitch.tv/FartingTart. I do D&D, I do variety games, and as I've said a couple times now, next Sunday, in fact, I am going to be moving. So, things are a little crazy at the moment. Haha. So, this week, we're going to be doing just a few more streams before we go on a bit of hiatus. Tomorrow, we're going to be attempting to finish our Pokemon Cute Luck. We have another session of... my stream is dying. Hold on. There it goes. We should be finishing our Black 2, our Black 2, White 2 Soul Link with Sean this week. We'll be doing our final session of our Soul Link with Johnny this week until we come back from hiatus. And we're just going to have a couple streams here and there. This is, I think, going to be the only other D&D game I'm in this week, because I told the people straight out of Capella that I may be there on Saturday, but we're gonna see how things play out. Yeah, we'll see how things play out. But with that being said, I guess we gotta find someone to raid, don't we? I do see that the
Yes.
Nightmares We Undo is live.
I was actually gonna see if we can raid Mark.
Is Mark live? Oh, Mark is live. We've never gotten to raid Mark. That sounds like a good idea. And he's doing Infinite Fusions,
Mm-hmm.
which should be very, very fun. I love that fucking game. So everyone go show Mark a little bit of love. Tell him he's handsome and that he's very, very talented. Mark was in had a role in the new One Piece movie, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So everyone go show Mark some love. Let him know who sent you. We will be back in probably maybe 2 weeks for the next episode of War of the Shattered Sun. Thank you all for joining us. And remember, as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. You are valid, you are cherished, and you are loved. And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Adios.
Yo.